What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today we are back with, I don't even know why I bought this. It was $1,200 at Insurance Auto Auctions and I had to have it. Now this is brand new. This is something that I never get to do, but Insurance Auto Auctions allowed me to bring my truck back here along with all of my tools and stuff. I have a big jump pack. I've got some ether. I've got a tire inflator. They're gonna let me actually work on this and try to get it running. So I've got this whole little area back here to myself. Again, I bought this for $1,200. It's a 2006 Ford E350 Super Duty 6.0 Powerstroke, and according to Carfax, the last time Carfax has a report on it, it had like 65,000 miles on the odometer. This is a medical transport vehicle that does not run. It's a little taken apart here and there. I think all the pieces are in here somewhere. Handicap placard, small crack in the windshield. It's not in the driver's line of sight. The interior actually looks pretty good. The body looks pretty good. They listed it as non-running. So this is a non-runner, guys. Why it doesn't run? I don't know. I guess that's something that we're going to have to try to figure out. My hope is that we can get it running right here where it sits and we can drive it out of here. You got a wheelchair ramp. You got a wheelchair lock. It's got plenty of folding seats. There's so many possibilities with this. I don't know if I'm actually going to do anything with it other than try to get it running. That's all I want to do. I want to get it running and I want to try to drive it home. So I noticed that they listed it as non-running because they could not get power to the unit. Well, there's something special about these guys. We could pop the hood and I could try to show you under the hood. There is even a battery tender hooked up to this. So somebody was trying to keep the batteries charged. If we pop the hood, let's see, we got all kinds of buttons. I don't know what all this stuff does, but buttons there. Intelligent lift interlock system. We have advanced fast idle system. I don't know what any of that does, guys. Not a clue. But if we pop the hood and you think, hey, I just want to give it a quick jump start like you would most diesels, right? Well, first you got to find the release. Then you got to lift her up, put the prop rod on, and so you look around, you're like, where would you jump start this? You're not going to jump start this from that, guys. And I'm betting that that's what they tried to do. I'll bet they tried to jump start it from this little thing right here. That doesn't work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you with me, and I'm going to show you if I can even. Let me try to close this door real quick. Somewhere under here, and it's wet. Let me take you guys off of tripod. Somewhere under here should be dual batteries. Ah, there's one right there. And I think the other one sits right there. And there are lugs under here. You see that red hanging? That's the positive lead. And you could just connect the negative pretty much wherever you want. So, obviously, after sitting for so long, it's diesel. It's not going to have its prime anymore. We'll close these doors. I've got some ether that, if necessary, we can spray into it. Let's see, how does this work? Close. There we go. Take you around the rest of it. A little bit of damage right there. I'm thinking this, guys, for 1,200 bucks, if this thing starts, it's worth way more than $1,200, man. And I'm definitely interested to see what the miles are on it too, because they have it listed as no mileage available. So some of you may remember this. I got to give a shout out again to JNC. This is Jump and Carry. Man, this was my first sponsor on YouTube ever. This is a 12 and 24 volt system. This thing, I have had this. That tells you how long I've had it. It's my first video sponsor. Shortly after I started my channel, they came in and they said, man, we would be happy to do a sponsorship with you. And every time I pull this out, which is rare anymore because booster packs have become so much smaller. But if you ever need something that's serious, you know, this right here, 12 and 24 volt, long cables. Take a look at this. This is not like, I'm not doing a sponsored thing, but look how long these cables are, all right? I'm telling you right now, commercially, this is probably what you need. I've had this for years. You simply plug it onto the 12 volt right here because this is a 12 volt system. And God, what is this? It's got to be 7 years old. it's still got like 13, 14 volts. And this thing packs a powerful punch. Let me get it connected up under there, and we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that we can get power to this unit, and maybe we can get it to start. So I think I hear a fuel pump. Things are happening under here, guys. Oh, now my knees are all wet, but that's all right. Let's, she's making noise. Oh, we got lights. We got lights. We're about to find out how many miles are on this. 75,000 miles. Are you serious? 75,000 miles. Oh no. No. Oh, that's not good. It sounds like the starter isn't getting juice. That ain't good at all. And all this beeping, what is all this noise? Nah. She ain't having it, man. I don't know how to, I don't know what all this stuff does, or why it's all beeping. Crap. There we go. It's that's beeping. There we go. Interior lights, door button, radio, rear air conditioning that looks like it broke. Oops. This is cool, guys. All right. Listen, I don't know what I'm doing in here. Not a clue. It's obvious. Shut up. Golly. I'm hearing lots of noise, but it's acting like it's just not getting enough juice to the starter. And I know for a fact that that booster pack, guys, that booster pack is solid. The lights are off now. That's good. That booster pack is solid, man. So it's definitely not anything to do with this booster pack. Let me feel the cables. They feel fine. We'll check the voltage is still good. So give me a minute. I may have to crawl under here and try to figure something else out. All right, we're going to try it a different way. I found another place to hook up the booster pack. Shut up. No. It's just, it's like it's not getting power to the starter, guys. Let's see if we can disconnect this. How does that? Oh, that's noisy and obnoxious. This should pop. There we go. This should pop off. Disconnect that. Let's move this out of the way. And then let's see if we can get the cowling off. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere down here we can find a starter. Or just another place to power this thing. All right, guys, I've been crawling under this thing for about 15 minutes or so. I put a jump start directly on the starter right down there. So let's see if that'll do it. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. Now, she's obviously lost her prime. Maybe we can shoot a little starting fluid into it. Here's your air box. I'd love to be able to just, let's pull this out. Let's shoot a little bit of ether straight into this. And with any luck, with a shot of ether, we might be able to get it to fire up, might be able to start pulling. It's going to take a while to pull fuel from all the way back. Now, using ether is generally not the best idea ever, but I mean, when you're one person, what are you gonna do? It ran. My booster pack down there is dying. I did get it running though, guys. We got her running. It's just a matter of is it going to pull fuel or not? I hate putting ether into these things. I really do. But like I said, I'm by myself, so what am I gonna do? My booster pack's about done. I brought like 3 more with me though, so oh. That booster pack died. Well, guys, I have been fighting this thing for over an hour now. I mean, I'm head to toe, man. I've been laying in the dirt and everything, and it's wet ground. I got a towel that is now not doing me any good at all. I aired up the front tires. I got it running a couple times, guys. We did it on camera. I've got that jump pack hooked up to the back here, but one of the things that I noticed back here is that the lugs are loose. I need to get these batteries out of here. I sure wish there was a way of taking like this panel off, but you can see it's siliconed in. I'm not quite sure how these batteries come out, to be honest with you. They don't look fun. That's all I can tell you. I have killed all my booster packs. I've run low on starting fluid. We know that it runs. I was hoping that maybe if we could get it running long enough that we could have started getting the fuel system primed. I really think that's the problem. I think it's lost its prime. As you can see, I'll show you. I'm gonna have to call and see what a tow truck is gonna cost to haul this. But you can get it. It just clicks now. Just like when we first tried it. It's like it's not getting enough juice. So I'm pretty sure that my booster packs, they're all dead. I'm just out. It's either that or I don't know, guys. I'll be completely honest with you. It is hot. It is humid out here. It is absolutely miserable. I definitely know that we're not getting enough juice from here to the starter to get it to run. That's 100% certain. I've even taken this jump pack and I've tried. It still shows it's got pretty damn good voltage though, but I have tried putting this directly on the starter and that's not working either. So we might have a bad starter. That's my first impression, is we have a bad starter. I also think we got some bad batteries, or at least severely discharged batteries. I don't know if those are gonna come back or not, but with all of these problems and the fact that it's lost its prime, it's making it exceptionally difficult. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to call a tow service. I'm gonna try one more thing, one more time. I'm gonna give it one more shot. And if we can't get it, I'm gonna have to break down and call a tow service. I really wanted to get this thing running on video, guys. I really did. I really wanted to get this thing running and try to drive it home. I didn't want to call the tow truck. I don't know how much it's gonna cost, but stay tuned, because I got a feeling here in just a little bit, if I cannot get it running, you guys are gonna find out with me how much it costs to haul something this big down to AAR headquarters. All right, well, $635 later, we've got hold on, I ought to shout them out, because honestly, for what they're about to haul and as far as they're going, it ain't really that bad. The name of it is Prime Towing. Prime Towing. They're going to be here in half an hour, so they're quick. They're going to get here quick. They're going to get it delivered today, which is great news, because that means I can continue this video trying to get it running. I got to charge up my booster packs, and then, I don't know, guys, we may be better off taking the batteries out, trying to get the batteries charged up, and then putting the batteries in it, trying to start with the batteries. We may have a bad starter too. The way it clicks, even when I was putting power directly to the starter, it just started clicking and clicking and clicking, but I think my booster packs may have been running out of juice at that time, so I don't know, guys. I don't know. Is it gonna get its prime back? I don't know. Am I ever gonna get my prime back? No. No, those days are long gone, and they may be long gone for this bus too. So stay with us. We'll come back here in a little bit. We get it dropped off at AR headquarters, where we have a little bit more freedom and a little bit more time to work on it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back, and boy, have I been working. I haven't been able to get this thing to crank again. Got it to crank earlier. You guys witnessed it. It ran. I've had no luck getting this thing to crank since I got it back. So we're into this thing. About 1,200 bucks was a bite now. Came out to about $1,750 after fees out the door. Just paid $636 for shipping, and now I gotta show you guys what I've been working on, because you wouldn't know it looking at me now, but my hands were completely black. Like, you could see no skin at all underneath all the oil, grease, and grime that came out of this. I decided, number one, I climbed under here and I found some significant wiring issues. One of them being the main positive lug for the jump pack, where you would hook your booster pack or whatever up to. It was loose. The battery terminals weren't even touching each other. They were so loose. So I had to take that off the frame rail and torque it down. Once I did that, I got to thinking, how much harder is it to pull these batteries? Because chances are these batteries are no good. Well, you've got a, what is this, a BXT65-750. So I'm assuming this is a Group 65 battery. Probably not going to be particularly cheap. They're a matching pair of Motorcraft batteries. January of 2021 is when they show they were installed. These things probably junk. So let's just toss those out the way. All right, now to get those out, they sit in battery boxes, right? These big, heavy metal battery boxes right here. All right, the batteries sit inside of these fancy boxes. And I mean, no big deal, right? It's kind of cool, actually. A nifty idea. There's the other battery box. Well, the problem is one of those battery boxes that sits right here. Do you see there? Look at. Do you see what I mean? Look at how big this light is in comparison to my hand. That is how much room you've got to get under there and get that metal battery box out. And they weigh a metric ton. All right, so here we go. Here's our wire management. All right, all through here. That's where the second battery goes, and then somewhere over here is that lug right there. Right there is the lug that I had to take off the frame rail and get straightened out. There are a ton of ground straps attached to all of this. Half of them weren't tight at all. They were just kind of dangling under there. So we definitely had some ground wire issues. This is a bear. As you guys can see, it's getting dark. Not to mention it's getting stormy on me. So we're supposed to start getting some rain here soon. I think I'm going to call it a night. It is getting... Look, we did get it running. All right, I'm not ending the video. I'm going to come back tomorrow in this very same video. I'm going to try this again. I think with a couple of hot batteries. I think that'll make all the difference. A couple of hot batteries, everything bolted down the way it's supposed to be, battery terminals cleaned, and all the ground straps tightened, and the positive tightened that was not tightened at all. 2 hot batteries. I'll double check, make sure everything at the starter is tightened as well, so that there's no question about what we're doing here. And I think my biggest problem is going to be getting these batteries back in. I had to use this jack to get them down. I don't know how you would do this unless you had a lift. And even then, I'm not quite sure how you would do this. A transmission jack or something? Because these battery boxes are big, guys. These batteries are big and they're heavy. One person laying underneath this thing, this is not easy to take down. So I'm very confused. Also, the tires on the back, all 4 are underinflated. The valve stems actually stick inside of the wheel and they have dust caps on them. So I haven't quite figured out how we're going to air up the back tires, assuming we can get it to run, get the fuel system primed. I don't know. And remember, guys, I haven't even bought these 2 batteries yet. These batteries probably at least $150 a piece, so I'm probably about to spend another $300 on batteries just to find out if we can even get it running. And at the end of the day, there's a real possibility this thing was ditched, it was dumped, it was abandoned because there was something serious mechanical wrong with it. It may not actually run on its own. Remember, this is a pedal vehicle, and it's been sitting for quite a while. And you know how pedal goes. A lot of times they buy, some of it's junk, some of it's stuff that people just don't want to deal with anymore. They don't want to mess with it. My concern is something like this, it just doesn't get junk. This is a commercial vehicle, a medical vehicle at that, a handicap accessible medical vehicle. So to me, it doesn't make sense that you would junk something that's worth this kind of money. I don't know what it's worth exactly. You guys can look around, maybe you could tell me, but I think if this thing was running and driving and the wheelchair ramp works, it's got to be worth. It's got to be worth some. I don't know how much, but it's absolutely got to be worth some money with only 73,000 miles on it. All right, guys, I'm going to head to Walmart and pick up my tools. We will reconvene here tomorrow. The goal tomorrow is to get this thing running. Okay, it's a brand new day for me, and we are back with what I hope is all it's going to take to get this thing running. 2 fresh EverStart Max batteries. These are both 850 cold cranking amps and 1000 cranking amps. So this should give her all the juice that she needs. Cost me $139 a piece for those batteries. Now, real quick, I had a subscriber stop me at Brahms and gave me something pretty cool. Ventrac. Never heard of it before. You want to talk about a lawnmower? A snowblower? Not sponsored, by the way. I just thought it was cool. This is, I guess this is his company, or he works for this company. He sent this to me. I'm looking at these mowers, and I'm like, oh, dude. He's mowing through water. Literal standing water, mowing right through it. Yeah, not a problem. I looked up the price of these. They are, you know, these are expensive. These are very expensive. But look at this. The guy's got tire chains on his mower. I want one of these so bad. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get his name. I was on the phone, and he just kind of stopped me, and he gave me this hat. You guys know how I love, boy, that sun. You know how I love hats, and he asked if I would wear this hat in an upcoming video. So I want to say thank you for the hat. You know I love hats, and thank you for the book. Unfortunately, these are a little bit out of my price range. Now, let's get on to the bus, man. I'm going to try, I haven't decided yet, should I put the batteries in the cages and just put the whole thing back together, cross my fingers and hope for the best? Because if it doesn't work, we're going to be in trouble. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I need to hook the batteries up with them sitting on the ground so that I have access to everything, and we can try to get it running that way. That way, if there's a problem, something's not working right, I don't have to take the whole thing apart again. I have access to everything down low. So let me try to slide up under here. This ground is going to be fire, literal fire. Let me try to slide these batteries under here, get the positive and negative hookup. I got to hook the negative up to the frame, and then we're going to cross our fingers that we can get in here, hopefully get this fuel system primed, and by God, maybe, just maybe, we're going to get this thing running today. All right, excuse the obnoxious dinging, but we do have batteries temporarily installed. Just kind of laying under there. I got the doors open trying to cool it off because it is just a scorcher out here today. Let's see if this thing's gonna try to crank over, or if we're still gonna have the tick, tick, tick noise that we had yesterday. No, she's sure trying. The radio came on. What is that noise? Why has everything got to make so much damn noise? I may have to put a jump pack on these batteries just to help keep the juice flowing, man. I don't want to kill these batteries. Come on. I also don't want to burn up that starter either. She's short. I mean, she's cranking, so that's good. We're further than we were the other day, but we ain't there, man. I don't know, man. I'm I know if I spray starting fluid in it, it'll start, but that ain't gonna keep it going. At least if I spray a little starting fluid in it and it starts up, the alternator should, you know, at least throw a little bit of juice into those batteries, at least for a minute. Oh, we're running out of starting fluid there, guys. Great. Come on. Come on. It didn't like that starting fluid. It did not like that starting fluid at all, so let's not do that. There's no lubrication. You got to remember that about starting fluid. This is a diesel. It's supposed to have oil in the fuel. Come on. Come on. Guys, it runs, but it's definitely not getting any fuel. So I guess I should look up where the fuel filters are on the 6.0. It says it's got diesel. I shook it, I listened, it sounds like it's got diesel in the tank. It sure does crank, but I'll tell you what, man, she ain't trying to start. That's very concerning. I had a good feeling about this one too. I'm not quite sure. Come on. Can we pop this off? We got a bunch of numbers, relays, fuses. Sure wouldn't hurt, I guess, to look up what all these do. I'm wondering what's under here. Under here looks like where they put like a fuel relay or something, you know. The thing is, when you turn the engine on, when you just turn it over without starting it, you can hear things clicking and ticking away. Where'd the damn key go? It's hard to hear with all this traffic. Starter's tired, battery's getting tired. Let me go grab a voltmeter, guys. At least I can check these fuses. I really don't know. I'm not a diesel person, you know what I mean? I'm not a diesel person, but it'd be nice if they had the fuel filter. There it is right there, it's buried. Oh hell, how do you even get to that? How do you even get, the fuel filter is buried under the cowling. I don't even know how you get to that. Maybe you get to it from the maybe you get to it from right here, take the lid off of it, maybe see if we've got any fuel in there at all. Great. That's just what I want to do, is take this back off again. All right, so it's been, I don't know, a couple of hours. We've got the intake pipe off, we've got the cold charge pipe off, we've got the power steering bracket off, we got this front piece off, we got the secondary fuel filter out, and well, you can see it's kind of a mess to get in here and work, but here's what we got. If you can get down in there, you see that beautiful fluorescent green color? That is fuel, guys. Now I already went down to the primary filter on the frame and I turned the little nut there for the water in fuel, and there was no water in it, so I closed it up. So we definitely have fuel there. Come up here to the secondary filter and obviously we have fuel here as well. The filter looks very clean, which is a little concerning. The filter also looks kind of new. It says made in the USA. On the bottom is what I assume is a part number 0578. Here's the thing. I did some research on these power strokes, sorry. And what I found is that aftermarket filters do not play nicely with these. Now I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It doesn't make sense. A filter's a filter's a filter, right? It should work, because if the parts stores sell it, they wouldn't sell it if it didn't work. Well, I've read several forums where people put these aftermarket filters in and they can't get them to run, even with a prime. And obviously it's got its prime, guys. It's not short on a prime. The filter's clean. These people there are multiple counts online of people that put brand new filters, aftermarket, Napa, AutoZone. They throw them in there and they can't get their power strokes to run. And then they go buy the Motorcraft parts and guess what happens? They run just fine. So something's going on here, guys. I don't know what it is. It may be a thing if we need the filters. Unfortunately, nobody has them. It's Friday, Memorial Weekend. Like I said, these videos are a week, 2 weeks out sometimes. So what I can tell is that we have fuel. All right, we absolutely have fuel. I've got my scanner hooked up in here. Guys, I've been working on this thing for hours, researching, reading forums, running different tests on this. We do have a code for the ignition key in-circuit fault. It's a B1352-30. I have not checked into that code. That's the only code that we had for the engine, was the B1352-30 ignition key in-circuit fault. Now, I didn't bother with that because when you turn the key on, number one, it cranks. Number two, it's got a prime, it's getting fuel, and it cranks. So I have to assume that the key is working. But I can also, maybe the key is preventing it from firing. Maybe it's a security issue. But when I go into the RAP module, the Remote Anti-Theft Personality module, okay, the RAP, it doesn't show any problems with this at all. There's none. So the remote anti-theft module seems to not think that there's a problem. So I don't think that's what it is, guys, which leaves me just baffled. When I turned the key on a minute ago, accidentally, I didn't mean to, but I turned the key on with the filter out, and as you can see, I made a mess. So, I mean, we've got fuel, guys. I don't know what else to do. I'm probably just going to throw this back together. I'm going to order the parts. We'll probably have to come back in another video. I hate to accept defeat. I love to get these things running and driving in a single video. I have so much left to do and so little time left to do it. I'm about to take a vacation, and this is one of my last videos. I've got to get these batteries out. I need to get them charged back up. So I got to undo everything that I did. Then once they're charged, I got to put them all back together. I got to pick up all the tools. I got to order all the parts. What I am going to do though right now is I'm going to put this back together and put the fuel filter back in. I'm going to put the cap back on at the lid. And I'm going to cross my fingers that maybe it's going to try to start. If it does not try to start at all, then guys, we're just going to have to hang it up, and we'll come back and tackle this in another video. All right, I'm going to leave the airbox off. I also disconnected the mass airflow sensor. I don't know why, but I did. I made sure my hoses are out of the way. They're not going to interfere with the belts or anything. We've got the lid back on. Charge pipe is off. Intake pipe is off. I don't think those have to be on to get it to at least sound like it wants to crank. And this is like, this is it for me, guys. I'm done after this. Sounds no different. No different. You can hear the injectors. The fuel pump, you can hear it. And it'll do that for about 20-30 seconds, just humming. It's got fuel pressure, guys. I also checked and verified. It does actually have that much gas in it. The gas gauge is correct. You can do all of that stuff with these little tools, guys. I'm able to check everything. Everything is good. There's like 50 volts on the IPC or whatever, which they're supposed to be like 48 volts. So everything here appears to be doing what it's supposed to do, but for some reason it doesn't do anything. Okay, it's probably been another hour. This has really been something here, guys. Let me see if I can adjust the brightness on this for you. I guess not. The brightness is all the way up. So let me try to bring you down here somewhere where there's not so much reflection. All right, this is my auto fix, and what I'm going to show you here is a graph. I am looking at my FICM, my fuel injection control module main internal power, just sitting at 48.5 volts. The injector control pressure, the injector control pressure regulator percentage, and the injector control pressure desired. So this is interesting because immediately as we're starting out, desired pressure to start this truck is 1,055 PSI, but we're only sitting at 8 PSI. Now, if you watch this as this runs, we're up to 303 PSI, but the computer is commanding 1,057 PSI. The FICM voltage is good. The injector control pressure regulator is fine. Yes, we do have sync, and then I shut the car off and it drops off. So what we're seeing is a lack of ICP, and if you take a look, watch what happens when we crank it up. Take a look at the oil pressure. We have RPMs. We have no oil pressure, guys. No oil pressure at all. Well, this fuel system runs on oil pressure. Without low oil pressure to drive the high oil pressure side, you cannot run this fuel injection system. So, we checked the oil. It's full of oil. Oil looks decent. You can see it right here. Pull it out. Take a look. I mean, it's dirty, but it's got oil. It's definitely got plenty of oil. We could change the oil, but I don't think that's going to do any good, guys. That oil really isn't that bad for a diesel. So I think what we're going to need to do now is we're going to need to get underneath it, and we're going to need to check the oil pressure relief valve. There is a relief valve underneath the engine. I'm going to drag you guys down there with me, and let's take it apart, see if it needs to be cleaned, lubricated, and maybe put back together. If we can't fix it with that, then we are looking at probably a very expensive and time-consuming problem. You guys ready to go under with me? Not every day we're out here trying to fix diesels. So, it's going to be hard to see. Right there, where that Allen head goes, that is our oil pressure relief valve. And I've already broken it loose. We've got a drain bucket right here because we're probably going to lose some oil. Let's see if we can get in here and just... This thing may spring out. There is a spring in here, and depending on what position this is in, I'm actually hoping that this is the problem. When it gets to the last thread, this thing might just kind of pop out, so I'm going to try to keep some tension on it myself, just in case. Come on. Oh, it's getting... Here we go. There's our mess. There's our spring. Let's drop that in the bucket. And there's the valve. The valve is sitting in there. So we're going to take a magnet here. We're going to kind of pull this magnet out. I don't know if you guys can see very well what is going on up in here, but right there, oh, she's kind of stuck. There it is. There is that valve right there. We're going to drop that in there as well. We'll let this continue draining, and then we'll stick my magnet in there and see if I can fish anything out. We'll see if there's any metal stuck in there. Once this is done draining out, then we can clean everything up with brake cleaner, and we'll start putting it all back together, lubricate it and everything. And with any luck, maybe, just maybe, this is the problem, but I don't know, guys. Doesn't seem to be our day. All right, so let's take a look. Here's the relief valve itself sitting on top. You remove that, you have the spring. You remove that, and you have the lid with the seal, the little cap with the seal in it. Now, I've already cleaned these up. As you can see, they actually look pretty clean. They look pretty good. I do have some fresh, just 10W30 that I'm going to use to lubricate these components before I reinstall them. But first, I'm going to get up under the truck, and I'm going to just clean that bore out with a little bit of brake clean, just to make sure if there's any debris stuck in there, we get it flushed out, because this has to move freely up and down. Otherwise, it could get stuck in a position that actually lets all of the oil pressure drain back into the block. All right, guys, we've got it put back together. I honestly don't have very high expectations, but it's just one of those little things you can do to try and hope that maybe it's an easy solution to what's most likely a bigger, more complicated problem. Nah. Nope. Well, guys, I'm about done. I've been at this for 2 days. I've spent a whole bunch of hours on this. I'm not really sure where to go from here. I've told you guys before, I'm not a diesel mechanic. I don't really know the first thing about diesels. I know how to do a lot of research, and I know how to follow instructions, but aside from it being the pressure relief valve, I'm kind of at a loss, guys. The sun is going down. I'm gonna have to call it. I've done everything I can to get this thing running in this video, and the video's already running too long. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. I'm gonna crank on it for just a minute. I don't expect anything's changed. Just no oil pressure. None. Okay. We're gonna end up burning up the starter if we don't stop. So next, you guys comment below. Several of you have got to know more about this stuff than I do, man. Maybe you can help. I am thinking, where is the IPR located on this? I don't think it's the IPC. That I know where that is. That's on the valve cover on the passenger side. But I'm wondering, where is the... Hold on. No. It's right there. It's right there. I can freaking see it. This is where having a van kind of saves you. I don't know how if you could see it, but sitting behind these lines here, right, hold on, I can show you right. Where is it? You can't see it. It's literally right there. It's, can I get my finger in here? It's back here. There's a connector on it, and that is the IPR. That's the regulator. It's got a little L shape down here and a connector on it. Now, how you get all of that out, I don't know. That's going to be fun with all of these. This is just wiring. I assume we can kind of move some of this out of the way, but then we have this metal piping here. It's going to make it a lot of fun to get to. If that IPR fails, if it's stuck open, you'll never be able to build up oil pressure. Without low oil pressure, you can't build high oil pressure, and nothing works. So I guess since the sun is setting and we accomplished, well, nothing, we got it down here to AAR headquarters, and that's it. I think I can put all this stuff back together. I don't think there's any reason to leave this off. We know that we have fuel. All that stuff is good, so I can bolt all this stuff back up. I'm going to take the batteries out. I'm leaving for vacation. I don't want to leave the batteries sitting under it. Risk somebody maybe coming up and yanking them. So we'll put the batteries in the house. I'll put them on charge, put the booster packs on charge, and we'll come back. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order. I don't have the tool to take the IPR off of this. Some weird little, it's like a giant oxygen sensor tool. I don't have it, therefore I'm not going to be able to pull this IPR out to check it before we replace it. This is literally the definition of a parts cannon. I really don't know how. I don't know how. We got to take this metal shield off, or how. Yeah, I just don't know how we're going to get in there. You can kind of see it. There it is. But again, I just don't know how we're going to get in there to get that thing off. There's a special socket. There's a connector down here. You take that connector off. You get the special socket in there, and then you ratchet on it. But I mean, it's all attached. What do we have to do? Do we have to take this pipe off? Take this clamp up there off? Take these two out. Hope they don't snap. Where's the other ones? Take these two out, hope they don't snap, then pull the entire, that's my guess, is you got to take this exhaust off. That kind of sucks. God forbid if something snaps on these manifolds, that'll be a bad day. But I think once you get this out of the way, you don't have to worry so much about these metal lines or the wires, because you're going to come in from behind. You won't have those heat shields anyway. So listen, please, guys, if you know more about this than I do, and chances are you do, drop me a comment below and tell me what you think. I would love to get this thing up and running. I probably am not going to do anything with it other than get it running and put it back up for sale. But I would absolutely love to get this thing running on the channel. With that, I think I'm going to get out of here. Remember, this thing's only got like 73,000 miles on it. That seems so low to be having any real problems, and being that it was a commercial vehicle, it was probably well serviced. If I remember right, according to the Carfax report, it was well serviced. So I don't really understand what's going on here, but again, I'm not a diesel guy, so I'm kind of leaning on you guys out there watching to maybe point me in the right direction. Leave a comment. If you got a link, drop a link. Send me an email if you want to. autoauctionrebuilds@gmail.com. Again, guys, I really love taking these old dead things and bringing them back to life on the channel, and I try to do it in the first video. Unfortunately, occasionally, as with this one, that's just not going to happen. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the thumbs up button and let me know. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.